Hey guys, this is Jessica Gutierrez with Clean With Me podcast. This is a podcast where I walk you through cleaning your house step by step. So let's clean together.
Hey y'all, happy podcast day. It's time to get cleaning, get motivated. If you're not motivated, we're going to get you there. So do whatever you do to get motivated, whether that's getting ready for the day, lighting a candle, opening a window. For me, if I make my bed and get ready for the day, as soon as I get up, and if I get up before my kids, which I did this morning, hallelujah, that makes me super motivated. I'm actually doing the podcast on time today. Aren't y'all so proud of me? I know I've been doing it like random times, but I'm back on schedule finally. And we're going to do a whole house cleaning today, and I'm just going to give you some tips on how to stay organized and keep your house clean. I've been doing really well, and I'm super proud of myself. But I have the luxury of, moved to a new house, which was super difficult, but there are benefits. One, I got rid of a ton of stuff. Two, I'm starting out organized. I'm starting out, the way I want the house to be. When you've been in a house for 5, 10, 20 years, things accumulate and you have a lot more clutter. When you move to a new house, hopefully you're not bringing that clutter to the new house and you're purging a lot of things. So I'll talk a little bit about doing that if you are perhaps like me and moving to a new place. It's not going to be solely about that. It's going to be more about staying organized and maintaining your house, but also our normal full house clean. So let's get right into it. Let's go ahead and go to the laundry and do a laundry switch, as we like to call it. Take the laundry out of the dryer, put it into the laundry basket for after the episode, and then start a new load. If you have a really bad house day and your house is a disaster today, no judgment. Maybe just do a load of towels so you don't have too much to fold after the episode, but definitely do a load. If I do at least one load of laundry a day, I stay pretty kept up on my laundry, so I do that and I try to fold it when it comes out or after my cleaning sesh, so I will remind you to do that after the episode. So while you're doing that, I'm just going to talk a little bit about what I just talked about. When you're moving into a new place, if this applies to you, do not take clutter and just throw it in a box. I know that's so tempting. I've moved probably about 1,000 times in my life, and at the end of packing, you're just like, you know what? I'm just going to put everything and transfer it into this box and bring it to the new house and go through it there. Don't do it. It's a trap. Make sure you go through it, because you don't want to be, moving is such a hassle. You do not want boxes of random junk that you have to go through. It's a trap. Do not do that. I just wanted to throw that in there. If you organize your stuff while you're packing and get rid of everything, before you move to the new house, you're going to start fresh. You're going to feel so much better. You're going to have less junk to go through. So definitely do not transfer clutter to your new house. Like I've said before, you just think about is this sentimental to me? No, it's not. Okay. Is this something that I've used in the last 3 months, 6 months? No, I probably don't miss it, probably don't need it. Let's get rid of it. Or, we tend to accumulate things because we think we're going to use them. We don't need 5, can openers, for example. You have these can openers that have been sitting in your drawer that one of them doesn't really work that well, so you got a new one, but for some reason you've kept the 3 that aren't very good for emergencies. You don't need them. Throw them away. I'm like that. I know. I do the same thing. Throw them away. Just stuff like that. If you get something new, throw the old thing away. But okay, we're going to move on to the kitchen now. Go ahead and go to the kitchen. Start unloading your dishwasher, unloading your drying rack. The big thing I struggle with when cleaning is staying on task. That's what this podcast is for, is to keep you on task and on the same task until it's finished. Sometimes I jump around a lot and then I don't actually finish like the dishes or, So this keeps me on track and gets the house a lot cleaner because you're honing in on one area instead of jumping all around the house and half cleaning every room. So go ahead and take all of your clean dishes and put them away, make room for the dirty ones, and just start working on those dishes. And I'll talk to you a little bit while you do that. Just be chugging along with those dishes. If you have any dishes in your refrigerator that have crusty leftovers or something in it, go ahead and take those out and dispose of the food however you do that, whether you have a garbage disposal or if you need to throw it outside, and clean those dishes now while you're in dish mode. If you have kids in your house still, or maybe they've been to school, if you need to take a second and just gather dishes from around the house, or have your kids do it, or whatever you do, get all the dishes from around the house. That way you're knocking out all the dishes at one time. And then let's get to it. So while you guys are doing the dishes, I'm just going to talk a little bit. I've had a lot of people on my Patreon and other platforms ask me like how often I deep clean things. And this is specific to everybody personally because, everybody's household size is different. Everybody's house size is different. And I can tell you what I do personally, but it's not going to apply to everyone. I probably, wash my bedding way more than you do. If you don't have babies, I probably clean my toilet a lot more often than you do, just because my kids, are rubbing all on it all the time. So I'm going to tell you what I do personally. This podcast is going to have a little bit of everything. I'm just going to give you a bunch of tidbits that people have asked me and answers, and about organization, how often to deep clean, things like that. I touched on it a little bit on the Saturday episode, but I'm going to get into it more in depth today. So while y'all are doing the dishes, when it comes to like cleaning toilets and deep cleaning the bathroom, I say once a week. That's why I talk about it on my Wednesday episodes. I think you should bleach your shower and toilets and stuff once a week. Again, this is specific to me personally. If you don't use a restroom very often, like, a guest restroom or something, maybe once a month, I don't know. It depends on how often it's being used. If it's a bathroom you use all the time, I would say once a week. That's what I do. And I hate it when you get hard water in the shower, in the bathtubs and stuff like that. So I do maintain daily. I've mentioned it about 1,000 times, but when I, take a shower, I have a scrub, one of those sponges with the dispensable soap sponges with the heads, the sponge heads that come off. I have one of those in my shower, and in this new house, I have a huge shower, so it's a lot more surface area, but I scrub with a bathroom cleaner. I have it either filled with a soap scum, scrubbing bubbles type situation, and I hit it every time I take a shower and just scrub, all the surface areas, the faucet and all that, once a week, or I'm sorry, daily, and then I do the bleaching once a week, just to really sanitize it. And the reason why I do that is, one, like I said, to keep the hard water away. Two, if you miss a week bleaching your bathtub or something, if you're super busy and you don't get to it, it's not really bad. It's still pretty maintained. It's still pretty clean because you're getting it with that scrub brush daily. So again, you don't have to do that. That's just me. That's what I do. If you're not using a certain restroom that often, you don't have to be scrubbing it every day. I'm just weird about hard water and showers and stuff, and to me it's easier than scrubbing off stuff that's accumulated. So I just do that every time I shower. And just be working on your dishes while I talk. And as far as sheets, cleaning your sheets, I wash my sheets more often than once a week, but definitely once a week. If I didn't have the need to clean them before that, I will clean everybody's sheets once a week. And as far as I like to vacuum my mattresses, because dead skin cells accumulate on your mattress. Super gross, I know, but I like to vacuum it once a month. So once a month when I'm doing my weekly sheet cleaning, I will vacuum the mattress. And then when it comes to deep cleaning the refrigerator, I would say I do this one like a full-on deep clean once a month. Wipe down, refresh, as I guess you can call it. You know how me and my mom are with our little slang. I do like a refresh where I wipe down just things and don't actually take out drawers and scrub them and put baking soda and all that jazz. I do that probably once a week. I clean out of the fridge just because I've got little babies that know how to get into my fridge now. So there's always like little fingerprints and random stuff in my fridge. Sorry. And so I do that probably more often than most people do. But if you're like me and you have little toddlers always in your fridge, then I would do like a wipe down once a week, and then once a month do a real deep clean of your refrigerator where you take out all the drawers and just really get in there and scrub. And when it comes to decluttering, as far as like, cabinets and things like that, deep cleaning that, dusting, I would say it depends on your house, really. It depends. Whenever things look dusty, I dust. I don't really know how often. If I had to give you an actual answer, I would say once a month, do a real good dusting of your entire house. That's probably a good time where enough dust has accumulated. But just when you're doing your whole house clean, look at your blinds and stuff. If there's dust accumulated, then just get them with a wet wipe. But like with everything, this is just me personally, what I do. You don't have to do exactly what I do. And also, this is just a guide. And I would also like to say, the more often you clean things, the less you have to deep clean them. The more often you maintain, like I said with the bathrooms and the showers and stuff, like the more often you're just doing a wipe down, you're not going to have to deep clean it quite as often because it's pretty much well maintained. So it just depends how busy you are, how well you're keeping up with things. If you're keeping up with things very, very well, then you're not going to have to deep clean quite as often. If you're doing these weekly episodes and doing most of the things that I say in the episode, which I know it's a lot, I do say a lot in every episode. So if you don't, no judgment, don't feel like, oh man, I should be doing every single thing. I understand that sometimes your house is ridiculous. More often than not, that's the case. Last night, let my kids run wild because I was so exhausted. And they were like asking me for oranges, and it was like past their bedtime, and I was just like, just peel them, just peel oranges, whatever. And like there's orange peels all over my house this morning, so I had to like sweep it up because I was being so lazy. I was like falling asleep on the couch. And we all have those days where we're just like letting things go, and But this morning, since I woke up before them, I was able to clean up everything before they woke up, so that's awesome. But keep working on those dishes. If you have anything that's, hard to get off, like any pans with any baked on stuff, you can let them soak while you're doing your other dishes and then get to them last. If you need to boil some appliance parts or some bottle parts or anything like that, you could do that now too as well while you're doing the rest of your dishes. But I did say I was going to talk about staying organized, so I just wanted to hit the questions that I've been asked about how often I deep clean. I hope that answers your question, kind of. Like I mop very often. I mop like every 2 days or something, but that's just because I have toddlers. So most people don't mop more than like once a week or something. It depends on your household. It depends if you have kids at home, big kids, whatever your household may be. I mop very often. I sweep like 5 times a day. That's probably not you, but so everybody's different. Everybody's household's going to be different. But I just wanted to hit those real quick, and then I said I was going to talk about staying organized. So one thing that I live by is if you use something, put it away. If you brush your hair, put that brush back in the drawer where it goes. If you brush your teeth, we're all in a hurry. We all have stuff we have to do. Some of us are super slammed, but in the long run, it's going to make your life easier, so put the thing away. If you get dressed, put your clothes in the dirty laundry. Don't just leave them where they lie. If you change your clothes a couple times, don't just leave the clean clothes that you changed out of on your bed or whatever. Hang them back up if you choose not to wear them. Just little things like that will make your life a lot easier in the long run. Especially if you have a busy life and a busy household and work and school and whatever you do, or you have the kids have 15 different activities they have to get to, whatever the case may be. The more you put away what you use, and I know it's very simple and childish, but it's what we tell our kids. It's basic, but we're not always doing it. I know I don't, and when I do it, like, my house is so much cleaner. So say, I make some coffee in the morning. Instead of leaving the coffee on the counter and just having it have a permanent home on the countertop, I put it away in the drawer. And it takes like 3 more seconds to take it out of the drawer, make my coffee, and put it back. You know what I mean? And it just makes my house look so much better because, yeah, 1 can of coffee on the countertop isn't going to look that bad. But if we're not putting anything away and we're doing that all day with like 1,000 different things, then the house ends up being a cluttered, crazy mess. And this one's just for the moms, but I've talked about this before, but just having a small little miniature toy box, if your kids have 1,000 toys and maybe you don't want to get rid of all the toys, but you're tired of them dumping out a 15-gallon size toy box every 5 seconds, just get a little tiny box with their favorite toys and maybe keep it off to the side in the living area and just have that be the outer area toy box, and that way when they dump it out, it's not a big deal. I just have a little tiny toy box that I slide. I have these this big cabinet, and if you follow me on Patreon, I will post before and after pictures of my new house so you can see how bad it gets. And I'm not going to post the real bad ones. If you guys want me to, I guess I will. But I post before and after on my Patreon. So if you're a financial supporter, you'll see that mess. But you'll see what I'm talking about. I have this big cabinet or this big drawer situation in the living area. And I have that toy box that I slide into the shelving area. And you can't even tell what it is. It just blends in. And it's just a little box full of their favorite toys. And that's really helped me not get stressed out and freak out when they dump out the toys, because it's only a couple things. And then, I just let them play and the house is still clean, because no one cares if there's a few toys on your living area floor. You know what I mean? And, I've mentioned 1,000 times that things are different depending on what goes on in your household, and, everyone's household is different. But having a schedule is definitely one of the biggest things when it comes to staying organized. Being on a schedule and having set times where you do things, and allotting a time for you to straighten up in the morning before you go to work or school, or just if you're a stay-at-home mom, definitely set a time aside where you clean, because and write it down into your schedule. I was a stay-at-home mom for a very long time. I'm going to have to go back to work here soon. My circumstances have changed, but I know that when you stay home, you can get in a funk, and it is hard. People don't understand. If you don't stay home, it's hard to understand, how difficult it is to maintain a clean house when you're a stay-at-home mom. But the main thing is you're not on a schedule, and that's what throws you off, because you don't have a set time where you have to be here, or here. So it's real easy to get into a slump and a funk and a fog and depressed, and then you're not having set times to do certain things because you don't have deadlines. So set deadlines for yourself no matter what situation you're in, especially if you stay home or work from home. Because I work from home right now, and if I don't set deadlines for myself, I procrastinate because, it's just difficult. So write it down, make a schedule, stick to it. But okay, you guys are probably done with your dishes by now. If you're not, if you're having a disaster day, it's terrible, do not worry, no judgment. Just keep trucking along on those dishes. You can rewind me, pause me, or just keep listening for entertainment purposes. I had a kid wake up. 1 second. Okay, but y'all are probably done with dishes now, like I said, so let's go ahead and if you hear little baby grunt, she's drinking her bottle, sorry, but start clearing surfaces. Make as much surface area as you possibly can. Put things where it goes. Just go quickly run and put everything away. Clear your countertops. Get rid of any accumulated mail or hot spots in your kitchen area. And just put everything away on your kitchen table or otherwise. And just go wipe down crazy. Wipe down any surface area with any smudge on it or that gets touched often, like light switches, etc. Like I said, I use Clorox wipes. You could use just a wet rag, whatever it is you use. Just wipe down everything. Wipe down your microwave, inside of your microwave, your refrigerator, your cabinets, behind your sink, your faucets, your kitchen table, legs of your chairs on your tables, especially if you have kids, your high chair legs, deep clean that high chair, take off that, if you haven't taken off the, liner or whatever in your high chair for a while and looked underneath there, probably needs to be deep cleaned. So deep clean that high chair if you have one. And if you don't get to everything that I'm saying, no worries, just do whatever applies to you and that you need to get done. Lift up appliances, clean underneath appliances. If you have a toaster, probably don't lift it up because a bunch of stuff's going to fall out of it. I'm just kidding. But if you have a toaster, maybe you need to clean that out. Just pick up appliances, move them around. If they don't need to be on your countertop, then put them in a cabinet and put them away. Look at your kitchen from another person's perspective. Is there anything that shouldn't be there on your countertop? Is there anything that has made a permanent home there that doesn't need to be? Clean out that coffee pot if you made coffee this morning. Look at your windowsill. Is it dusty? Has it been cleaned in a while? Maybe you need to clean off your windowsills. Take out your kitchen trash if it needs to be taken out, and look in your trash. Is your trash nasty and dirty? Does that need to be power washed in the front yard? If you need to do that, you could do that at the end of the episode or now. I know every once in a while, especially if there's a lot of people in your household. Again, sorry for the baby grunts. She's a very loud drinker. But if you have a lot of people in your household and like your trash can liners maybe get like leaks in it or something, your trash can get funky, don't just leave it. Power wash it, clean it. Every once in a while that needs to be done. That's another thing that it's specific to a household on how often you need to do it. If you're if it's looks brand new when you take out your trash can liner, then don't worry about it. But if you're like, yeah, you're talking to me, then if you don't have time to do it now, make sure you write it down and do it at the end of the episode. And then I mentioned the inside of your refrigerator. Does that need to be wiped down? Do you need to do a quick wipe down of the inside of your refrigerator? Or maybe, you have stuff accumulated on top of your refrigerator, or your cabinets are super out of hand and they just need a quick organization. A lot of things that we think are going to take forever, once you actually do it, it only takes a couple seconds. Like, we put things off like, oh man, this spice cabinet is ridiculous. Like, I do not want to go through this. But then you do it and it's like, oh wow, that took me 10 minutes and everything's super organized. And I've mentioned this before, containers. You can get cheap containers from like, Dollar Tree, whatever. But the more like organization containers and tools you have, the easier it is to keep things organized. If you have something to put them in, like spices, for example, I got these tiny little plastic rack thingies, and now I don't have issues with my spices. If you have an issue with something, find a solution for it. Like, my issue, for example, was the spice cabinet, so I found a little organization tool for it, and now it's not a problem anymore for me, and I don't have to constantly get irritated every time I go to cook something So, the main thing is if you have an issue, solve it. Find a solution for it. And a lot of times we just deal with stuff because we're just used to it. We're like, okay, I'm used to digging through these spices every time, so whatever. But, once you finally deal with the problem, it makes it so much easier. And it's not just spices, whatever it is, whatever your problem area is that you deal with every day, this is your sign to finally declutter it and, get it organized. So we're going to go ahead and move on. If you brushed off any crumbs or anything on the floor, though, go ahead and just do a spot sweep of your kitchen. We'll do all the floors at the end of the episode, I'll remind you. But just do a quick spot sweep. That way you're not tracking anything into the living areas if, you brush some crumbs on the floor. And then let's go ahead and move on to the living areas. Get your focal points of the room. If you haven't already opened a window, open up your windows. Let some light in there so you see the problem areas. And then let's move on to the couch cushions. So this is the full cleaning episode. So let's go ahead and take those couch cushions off. And is there anything hidden in your couch cushions? Does it have any crumbage in there? Is there any crumbs? I know me and my mom are terrible with making up weird words, crumbage. So what I like to do, if I have a vacuum nearby, I'll either vacuum it out or use my little hand vacuum or shop vac, as my mom calls it. I feel like a shop vac is more of like the big, I feel like the shop vac is more of that big, like wet vacuum deal. But anyway, whatever you use, if you don't have like a vacuum or anything on hand, you could just take your broom and just brush the crumbs onto the floor and then sweep them up or vacuum them. Well, I said if you don't have a vacuum. If you have wood floors, just sweep the crumbs off of underneath your cushions. And if you have an underneath of your couch, I do have a little tiny space now. I have a new couch where things can get underneath, but it's not near as bad. It's not raised as much. It's almost, right on the floor, flush with the floor. So I don't have as many toys and random things under my couch anymore. But if you do, go ahead and just grab a broom and just sweep out anything that's underneath your couch today. We're not going to ignore it today. We're going to clean it. And the more often you do this, the less of a big deal it is when you actually do it. So go ahead and just do that, and then fix your cushions, make it look nice and pretty. My couch is my focal point of my room. I have a small house, so I like to look for any spots on my couch during this time after I've done cleaning under the cushions and under the couch. I like to look and see if there's any spots. That's why I like to open the window. Then I get my little trusty dusty spot cleaner, carpet cleaner, and I clean the couch with it. If you have a leather couch, maybe it just needs a quick wipe down. If you have pets or something, you might need to, brush, use a lint roller and get any hair off or vacuum your couch. Whatever it is you need to do, go ahead and clean that couch, make it look nice and pretty, spot clean it, and then fix your cushions, and then move on to the rest of the outer areas. Does anything need to be dusted? Is there any dust on, your ceiling fans? You might want to do that before you clean the floor. TV stands, if you have a TV, do those need to be wiped down? I like to bring my Clorox wipes in and just wipe down everything. The top of your coffee table, end tables, TV stands, etc. Just wipe down. Pick up anything that does not belong. Do you have hot spots in your living area? Maybe it's just toys you have out there. That's fine. Just throw those in the toy box. Maybe you just have, random clutter that's accumulated on your coffee table. Go ahead and put that away. Put everything away where it goes in its place. It only takes a second to put something away where it goes. Don't just transfer the mess somewhere else. I know sometimes we're tempted to do that, but it just makes more work for ourselves. We're going to go throughout the whole house today, so you don't want to make more work for yourself. Go ahead and put those things away where they go. And I just want to say I'm really proud of you guys. You guys are doing a great job. We're already halfway done into our hour-long cleaning session, and you guys have gotten so much done already, and I'm really proud of you. It does take a lot of work to do that full hour cleaning session, but your house is going to be so much cleaner when we're done, so just keep trucking along. We're almost there, guys. And so while you guys are doing your outer areas, just keep working on it, putting things away where they go, and just straightening your outer areas. I'm going to give you some just organization tips for your outer areas. Finding a home for things is the main tip to organizing. So find a place, like say your keys and just, whatever junk you have in your pocket gets dropped in a certain area every time you come home on your countertops or your tables. You need to find an appropriate container or an organization thing for that space next to where you usually drop items, and then you're more likely to put things away. Like, if you put a little container where you normally put mail, and usually it's just all over your counter, if you put a little, organization tool right where you usually, drop your mail and stuff, then you're more likely to put it into that container, and then it'll look so much better. The simpler you make it for yourself, the more likely you are to actually use the thing. So I'm all about hiding things in appropriate containers, and obviously you still want to be getting rid of things. You don't want to be hoarding things and just having 1,000 containers of junk that you never use, but I'm talking about things that you actually use. If you're moving around the same 5 items that never get used and you don't even know why you're constantly putting these things away, your kids just drag them out and it's something that never gets used, just get rid of them. We're about to get to back to school, so I read an article about having a quote-unquote launch pad. I read it in an article where you have a little container right by the door for each person, and everything is set up for when you're getting out the door or when you come home, like for backpacks and lunch pails or whatever you're going to use that day, or jackets. And each one is labeled for each individual person. This is great if you have school-aged kids, and it's right by the door, and that way you get everything ready to go, and it makes it a little bit more fun when you label things and have containers and stuff like that. It makes it more fun for you, for the kids, and it makes it easier to stay organized. So, I thought this was a really good idea for back to school. Just have a little tiny, little container, buckets, whatever it is you have room or space for, have a little table, and then have a little launch pad for each person and have everything ready to go for that day. And then when they get off school and they're all tired and, worn out, and they, instead of just throwing their stuff all over the living room floor, they'll put it in their little boxes. And, it's important to stay organized when going back to school. It's important to stay organized when going to work, whatever. Or even if you're homeschooling or, whatever your case may be, you need to have designated areas for everybody individually's things. And if you have a big household and a lot of kids, color coding is also a good way to stay organized. I know, like, when I was a kid, we always had different colored toothbrushes. I still do this with my kids. Like one person's always pink, one person's always blue, one person's always green, and that way they don't fight over whose toothbrush is what. And same thing with cups. Like, sometimes with kids, you can have everybody have a certain color. Like, okay, I get everybody, this person is green, so they have green cups and dishes. So say you have big kids and you make a rule that everybody has to clean their dish after they use it, and you see a green dish out, that's little Jonathan's, dish, and you're like, hey, Jonathan, you didn't clean up your dish because you're green, and the green one was out, you know what I mean? Or my mom's done this before where, like, the same thing, everybody has a different colored cup, and that way they're not using 1,000 different dishes for water, and there's not 50 cups, because kids like to use every single cup that's in your cabinet, instead of remembering which one is there. So if you have color-coded, cups, or label them, then hey, you have the green cup, so just wash the green cup out and use it for your milk or whatever. And that way they don't use like 50 different cups. I hope that makes sense. But color coding is a good way to keep things organized for the kids. Everybody can have a color. And teach your kids to be organized, because that'll help you in the long run. Have them be organized with their homework and their schoolwork and stuff like that. Label things. Have like a little folder for ingoing homework that needs to be done and outgoing homework or something. Make sure you have everything labeled and organized, and just make life easier for you and the kids. And make sure y'all are on the same page when it comes to scheduling. Maybe have like a family bulletin board or calendar that you can write things down so everyone's on the same page if you have bigger kids. But we're going to go ahead and move on to, I hope you guys are done with your living areas now. I do all my floors all at once, so I will remind you to do your floors at the end of the episode. But let's go ahead and move down to the hallway. Is there anything in the hallway that's out of place? Any pictures out of place or need dusted? If not, let's go ahead and move on to the bathroom. Get any dirty laundry out of your bathroom and put it in the laundry area ready to be cleaned. And if you have kids at home or any other people in your household that have different bathrooms, you can delegate now for them to either clean their rooms or their bathroom. If not, that's okay. We're going to go ahead and whip it out. So move your laundry into the laundry area and then clear surfaces. So if you left anything out in your bathroom, whether that be, straighteners, makeup, toothbrush, toothpaste, whatever it is that doesn't have a permanent home on your countertop, I'm all about hiding as many things as possible. Do that. My mom mentioned in our joint episode that we did that she has little containers, same concept as the containers for getting ready for school by the front door. Same concept. She has little buckets underneath her guest bathroom for each kid. So, there's one for the teenager that's in and out of the house that doesn't live with her, that whatever stuff she leaves, she puts in her designated bucket. And then there's stuff for the, my little sister Priscilla's little hair ties and stuff go into a certain bucket. And I have this system as well. I have a little bucket for hair items and stuff, and I don't have a bunch of as many kids in my house, but I also have like a little bucket for earrings and lip glosses and miscellaneous things that my various stepdaughters, each, I have one for Adia and one for Brooklyn for when they leave stuff at my house. That way, it's there when they get back, and it's not just floating around somewhere on a dresser. It's put away. So I really highly would recommend having like a little bucket area to put things for different kids and stuff. But so go ahead and clear surface areas and just start wiping down. Start with your countertops and then your mirrors, or mirror and then countertop, sorry. And then make sure you get your faucet. If there's any splatter on your cabinets, you can clean your cabinets too. And just start wiping down surface areas. Once you're done with your countertops, you can move on to your toilet. I like putting gloves on for this so I can get down and dirty and get behind everything and really get in there. If you like wearing a mask too, maybe you wear a mask for this part too, so you're not worried about, nasty stuff getting in your mouth or chemicals. So, get the parts that you touch first. Obviously, if you're using a rag, if you're using Clorox wipes, it doesn't really matter because you're throwing them away anyway. But, if you don't like wasting Clorox wipes or you just like using a rag, then get the parts that you touch first. Very important. The handles and the seat and stuff like that. And then get in there. Really, you can snap off the back of the toilet seat to make sure that you get really deep underneath there. Before you wipe down, go ahead and, I like that, whatever you use to bleach your toilet, use that, but I like to use the little squirtable Clorox bleach that gets underneath the rim. My mom mentioned she uses a pumice stone to get underneath the rim. It's like a pumice stone with a stick on it for her toilet, and I've gotten one of those. Highly recommend. I did not know about it until we did the episode. So I learned some stuff too, and I was like, okay, I'm definitely going to use that. She has that in each of her bathrooms. So that's for if you have really like hard water stains, bad hard water stains, or just stuff that you can't get to with a normal toilet cleaning brush. underneath the rim of your toilet. Use that pumice stone. That's really good for that. So she also uses it, I think she said, for the grout. But go ahead and let the bleach sit in your toilet while you're wiping down. Wipe down behind the toilet, on the floor behind the toilet. Really get every area of your toilet clean. And then when you're done, you can get your toilet brush and scrub the inside after you've let the bleach sit for a little bit. Then moving on, obviously we've mentioned before, never mix products. If you're using bleach, do not use ammonia. You will kill yourself. Make sure you have a well-ventilated bathroom if you're using bleach. And then move on to your bathtub or shower area and go ahead. I like using the Ajax bleach for this. If it's real stained and you have plenty of that toilet bleach, squirtable bleach, that actually is really good for bleaching your bathtub if you have like stains in your bathtub, or you can use Ajax, whatever. But that toilet bleach is actually really good for getting stains off. But go ahead and bleach your bathroom, whatever way you prefer to do that. Let it sit. Make sure it's well ventilated. And then while you're letting the bleach sit, go ahead and clean your floors. My mom said that she likes to use the Swiffer pads and just use her hand with her glove or whatever and just wipe the floor off because it's a small surface area. I do that too with a wet rag or whatever I have on hand. I usually clean the bathroom floor by hand just because it's so small. But if you prefer just to get into all the little cracks, because there's a lot of little spaces in your bathroom. But if you have a huge bathroom, use a mop or a Swiffer or whatever you usually use and clean the floor. But it's good to really get in there and clean the grout and stuff around your bathtub. Sometimes that'll get real funky. You can bleach that as well. And then once you're done bleaching, letting the bleach sit, just get in there and scrub, and rinse it out. Make sure you get your, move the shampoos and stuff on the little ledges inside of your bathtub and stuff. And make sure you get all those little corners and areas that you miss in the grout and stuff. Make sure you get all of those areas. Make sure you're getting your faucet and everything, because that will get hard water if you're not cleaning it regularly. If it already has hard water on it, vinegar is great to get that off. Or they have, specific cleaners for that. But if you don't have any of that on hand and you have white vinegar, I've mentioned this before, you could put it in a Ziploc bag and put it, secure it with a hair tie and let it sit on your faucet, and that'll get rid of any hard water. Which, that's not going to hurt anybody, but it's just a pet peeve of mine. I hate hard water. I hate the way it looks. It looks just gross and funky. So that's something that I like to maintain and make sure I, clean my faucets and my shower heads regularly. But, if you have multiple bathrooms, you can pause me, remind me, whatever you need to do. But I'm going to go ahead and move on to the bedroom area now. So let's go ahead and do it. Let's go into the bedroom area. Same thing. Grab any dirty laundry you might have in your laundry basket. Have your kids do the same and move them to the laundry area. I mentioned before that, like, for my stepdaughter's rooms or my baby's rooms, it's easy to keep... Baby, stop it. It's easy to keep... everyone's clothes together. If you just wash all the clothes together, that's fine, but it's a lot easier to stay organized if you have laundry baskets in each person's room, and then you keep them in the laundry basket and maybe just have them move their dirty laundry baskets to the laundry area, and then you can wash each person's clothes separately, or maybe you have them do it if they're big kids. And that way their clothes are already together and each person's clothes are already separated when you wash them. And that'll make it a little easier on you. So however you do that, you can delegate and have them clean their rooms at this time, whoever else is in your household. If it's just you, then go ahead and take your bedding off and put it in the laundry area and make sure it's somewhere where you can see it. Make it a priority because you want that clean, obviously, before you go to bed tonight. So if you haven't vacuumed your mattress in a while, you might want to do that. just pick up anything that's out of place. We've been talking about organization tips, so definitely utilize underneath your bed. Don't keep things that you're never going to use, but when it comes to things that are like out of season and stuff, I love putting, I have these little plastic containers, and if you have a raised bed, it's really, I love putting, my out of season clothes and stuff like that underneath my bed and using that for storage in these little storage containers. That's something that I like to do. And, make it a habit, make a certain time a month that you go and donate clothing. Make that something that is on your schedule every month. That way you're getting rid of things regularly, and just have a container where you're putting things that you don't need. And maybe you can store that under your bed as well and just label it Goodwill or something. And then once a month you can take that to be donated, because, if we have a spot to put things like that, we're more likely to get rid of them. We all have those certain items that we're constantly, fiddling with or seeing every day or putting away because the kids have dragged it out, and it's like, I never use this. I'm never going to wear this again. So that would be something that goes in the Goodwill box that goes, or container that goes underneath your bed. And if you're a person that has trouble, keeping track of, getting rid of things, if you're someone that, really, you need to get rid of something, but you're just not sure if you want to let go of it, maybe have a box of maybes. Have a box that you keep in your garage or your closet or under your bed of just things that you're not sure about, and just pack them away for a while. And if you never use them or look at them, then at the end of the month, reevaluate, go back and look at them and think, do I need this, or do I need to go ahead and give it away or donate it? And just have like a maybe box. That's a good way to do things if you're just not sure. And I mentioned before the 1 in, 1 out rule. You get a piece of clothing, get rid of a piece of clothing. If you get a new pan, get rid of an old crusty pan that you never use, And just be picking up your bedroom, putting everything where it goes. If you have any hot spots in your bedroom that need to be taken care of, do that now. And bless you. And like I've said before, list. The best way to get organized is stick to a schedule, make a list, write a to-do list every morning. Or before you go to bed at night, write a to-do list for the day. I do it before I go to bed. And, it's real satisfying to scratch those things off the next day. It's a great way to stay organized, and it's very important, especially if you stay home or work from home. It's just as important if you go to work to have a schedule and a set time that you do things, and you'll get so much more done. I know I say it almost every episode because it's very important, and it's literally changed my life to make these lists, because I never used to do it before, and it was really easy for me to get lost and just overwhelmed and not get anything done. And before you go, I mentioned this in the last episode, but if you have an area that is very, very bad, like say your closet is just out of control, right? And it's just, you do not want to tackle it all in one time. You just don't think you can. A lot of times things take less time than we think it's going to take, but let's just say, it's super bad, or whatever area of your house is just really bad. Maybe your garage is just out of control or something. Set a timer for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever it is. I've mentioned this before, and just say, I'm going to spend 20 minutes a day on the garage, or 10 minutes a day on the garage. It could be 5 minutes, whatever it is that you have time for, and just tell yourself, I'm going to just work on it for this amount of time. That's how much time I have. And then you might find that once you get started, you want to finish it. So I repeat it because this has definitely worked for me. If I have something that's just this is just too much, I will time myself 5 minutes. And then once I get going and get into it, I usually end up finishing it anyway. But if not, just do 10 minutes a day, and then it'll be done before you know it. And also, another good thing is just picking one area beside your normal straightening and your normal everyday chores per day and tackling it. Like when you're doing your to-do list, have all of your regular chores and then one bonus chore per day. Or one 10-minute session in a bonus chore area. Whatever it is that's easier for you. But I have babies that are waking up. Good morning. So we're going to go ahead and end the episode for today. Go ahead and clean your floors now at this time. Do a full sweep, mop, vacuum, whatever kind of flooring you have of your entire house. Make sure you do a very thorough mopping if you haven't done it in a while. I have wood floors. If you don't, vacuum, you can spot clean. My mom spot cleans after she vacuums. I don't know why. I do it before. But, whatever. If you have carpet, you might need a spot clean or anything like that. But go ahead and do your entire flooring. And then we put in a load of laundry, so you might need to do a laundry switch at this time. After you're done doing your floors, make sure you fold that laundry. That way it doesn't just sit there in a pile. It'll make your life easier, and make sure you put the clothes where they go. That way you stay nice and organized. If you don't follow me on social media, it's at Clean With Me Podcast on Facebook and Instagram, at Clean With Me Podcast. And my art page is at Jessica's Custom Work, all lowercase. And I do custom vans, portraits on vans. I do dog portraits, people portraits. I can work from separate photos. You can get an idea of my art style, see if you like it or not, and DM me and order something if you want. Also, I want to give a big shout out to my financial supporters on Patreon. You guys are amazing. I appreciate you guys so much. I'm going to start posting a lot more on there. If you want to be a part of the inner circle, I will put the link in the description. But thank you guys so much for your support. You guys are really the heart of the show, and I appreciate you so much. I will be posting before and afters later on today of my new house. But you guys did it. I'm so proud of you for doing a full hour of cleaning. You guys are amazing, and I love you all, and just happy cleaning as always.